Hey everybody, we're over here at Honeymoon Beach on Luis Pena Island. It was a pretty exhausting kayak ride over. We had some swells. Winds were, moderate. They weren't real bad, but it took a little bit of effort to get here. But when we did, we took a hike through a little trail, if you can call it that, to get to the other side of the island and get to Honeymoon Beach, which is where we are right now. I'm going to pan through Honeymoon Beach real quickly so you can see. So this is where we've been hanging out today. So far, did a little bit of snorkeling, had some lunch that we carried with us. You can kayak all the way around the island if you're so inclined on a calm day, probably easy to do. 10 to 12 knot winds and what they were calling 5-foot swells, which I thought weren't quite 5 feet. It still takes a pretty good bit of energy just to get over here, so I recommend that you come into the little pass here and walk through. The trail's not that easy to find, so I'm going to show it to you on a video just to make sure you can find it, because I had to search for it for a little while. It's actually very short. It takes about 3 minutes to walk across. So we'll show you that, and come over here. I think you'll be glad that you did. It's a really beautiful view, and as you can see, we've only got one neighbor, and they found a different way to get over here. But very beautiful and fairly isolated. Nice. Okay, we are currently on Luis Pena, and we're looking back at the west coast of Culebra. So we kayaked all the way across that. It was a little bit windy, so we had a few swells, and we decided not to go all the way around Pena, but rather to stop on the west coast, because if you come in here to this little pass, you'll notice there's an entry there that actually leads to what the local guy called a trail, but I'm not sure I would. Nonetheless, it actually does give you access to the really great beaches on the west side of the island without having to paddle all the way around and fight those swells. So that's what we chose to do. You can see here we just put our kayaks right up on the beach. They've been undisturbed. It's been more than an hour that we've been here. And what I'm going to do now is show you a little time lapse of that hike so that you don't have to find your way around the way that I did. So you come right to the middle of this little inlet. You can see here that we're inside of an inlet, and I just slipped right into a big patch of seaweed. But this here is the way in. So I'm going to set up a time lapse now, and I'm going to hike back to my family, and you'll be able to see exactly how to get there with minimum effort. And so I came straight in through the middle, just bear a little bit to the left, and you're going to find it hard to believe at points that this is actually a trail, but it is. And it's going to take you out into this little opening, and you'll see your way around to the right. And then if I just bear to the left around here, it's not pretty, but it gets me through. And you'll notice that I'm back on some pavers here. So that was our sign that we got it right. And we'll just keep on going a little bit farther. And before too long, you start to see the beach in the background there. And you just follow your instincts from that point on. Just head for the beach. Watching for a few briars here and there. It's not exactly the most pleasant of nature trails, but it definitely will get you where you want to go with a lot less paddling and a lot less time. So I'm almost there, and my last obstacle to negotiate is actually not so bad. And hopefully you can already hear the surf breaking, so here we go. This entire video has taken me about 1.5 minutes. So compare that to paddling around the island, and you might actually find yourself glad that you did this. So here we are at the beach. All right, enjoy, guys.